Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, besties. We are back with PGP race recaps. Yes, we are so back. We are starting off the season in Melbourne, Australia, and man, what a weekend it was. So, on today's episode, we have myself, Melissa, Amy, Rachel, and Chelsea behind the scenes. So, grab your favorite drink, snack, get super comfortable as we give you all that you missed while F1 was down under. Now, of course, it's been said once and it'll be said once again a million times. We have new regs. So of course, it's a new year, new regs. There are, of course, a million one changes. Please reference to the fabulous post Amy worked on, explaining a little bit more in detail what really has changed. But there are some changes on how we will see quali sessions go for the season going ahead. So as you know, we have a new team, aka two, not newish, but two additional drivers. So instead of it being 5 drivers that are going to be dropped in Q1 and Q2, it's going to be 6 drivers, and then the Q3 session is just going to remain with the top 10 drivers. And then it made me think, is there any changes with the point system? Because 22 drivers, you would think, maybe the top 11 drivers get points or something like that. Nope, no changes to the point system. Still, top 10 will be awarded at the end of each race, including sprints, which is going to be the top 8.
Updates for the track. We don't usually have a ton of track updates anymore, but this year, Turn 6 has been named in her corner in honor of Hannah Schmitz and Laura Mueller, two of the most influential women in F1 currently. Hannah, if you do not know, is the head of race strategy for Red Bull. In Hannah we trust. And Laura, if you do not know, is the first full-time female race engineer in Formula One history. She is working with Esteban at Haas, and she's been doing so since 2025. This naming is in partnership with the In Her Corner initiative to, as Laura Mueller said, promote the importance of, if you can see it, you can be it. So the more we can do to shine a light on the overall achievement of women in engineering is a great thing. And that is a direct quote from Laura when they were getting ready to kind of do all the promo for it. We love this. It is International Women's Day after.
It is. And I am a big fan of this. I really liked it. And I'm hoping that we just see more of it, because I know we have a lot more women in F1 and everything, but it's just nice seeing that recognition from 2 different women in 2 different aspects of F1 being recognized. Yeah.
It should surprise absolutely nobody that we love it when women in motorsports get the recognition that they deserve. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm hoping that they maybe get more specific moving forward instead of it just being named after this initiative. Personally, I would have liked it more if they had done something to include their names in the naming. It just, I don't know. I like In Her Corner for the meaning behind it, but I also feel like it could have been stronger if they had used the women's actual names. But that's just me. I will also say, as Rachel mentioned, we are recording this on International Women's Day. So, besties, happy International Women's Day. It just needs to be said. Sorry. End of rant.
No, you make a point, but I think at this point it's just baby steps, and it's baby steps in the right direction. But I do agree.
Absolutely.
It was cool to have a straight or a corner named after someone. Susie Wolf deserves something, especially for everything she's done within the academy.
That would be
very
fun.
True. That's a really good point.
So
that would be really cool. I mean, I'm also just waiting for maybe one of the teams to how they normally name their cars. Basically team initials and number. I'm like, why don't we do the women
mix it
on
up
your
a little
team?
bit.
Pick someone a la Sebastian Vettel and naming his cars a nickname. Why can't you just name these cars after
exactly
strong, iconic, epic women who have been in motorsports?
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be me just having a pipe dream, or like it might just be wishful thinking on my part. There's a whole host of options for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tracks, luckily, and there's new tracks coming along, so who knows? There's a lot of options in the future coming up.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So, but anywho, we do have to talk about some driver and team updates. There's nothing much big going on because, again, this is the first race weekend of the season. We just got down with testing and like the whole shakedown and everything. But Aston Martin is off to a rough start. Like rough. Like he needs some milk type rough.
I feel like rough is putting it mildly.
Yeah, like they need some milk.
That's being
Nice
generous.
way to phrase it.
Yeah,
We're
they
being
need
generous.
some milk like ASAP. Because reports were coming out that Newey stated that the car won't complete the race distance in Melbourne. Yes. He has said that the car probably won't finish out for this Grand Prix. And Fernando himself, he even said that he cannot do more than 25 laps without risking nerve damage due to excessive vibration. And Lance also said, quote, his limit is 15 laps. And then I saw another tweet that apparently, allegedly, they were chewing gum.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, they won't have like any like
4 pieces at a time.
That's crazy. Are they chewing like Hubba Bubba?
Chat. It was like they were chewing multiple pieces of gum in place of a mouth guard, which had me sitting there shaking my head going like, but why not just use an actual friggin' mouth guard? Like,
and like, yeah, like, mind you, like, yeah, of course, like, they would prefer, you know, one that's like shaped to your teeth, but they could easily just gone to like a local like CVS or something.
You could go,
go get Amazon it.
There doesn't need to be something,
and then in between you can get something
perfect.
fancy. Yeah, exactly.
I have to wear one snowboarding because I have stuff going on.
I mean, I sleep one at night too. Yeah, I
have like a high, like heavy duty one for my grinding at night, but like I have just one of the standard ones you get for football players at Academy or Dick's or something for when I go snowboarding. You boil it, you put it in your mouth. It's really easy, guys. It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Amazon.
And it's not like it's expensive.
It's not. No. They can afford it.
The crazier thing is starting off the season with a team that is having issues that are basically being talked about in the same sentence as nerve damage or risking of nerve damage. Like, it is race 1 of new regulations. That shouldn't be a worry or even like an option. Like, it's just it's concerning, and it's also a little mind-boggling all at the same time.
Well, and Lance said that sitting like in an electric chair, and that's how it feels. Like, if he said it felt like he was getting like electrocuted or something at one point. Like, he said that there was just a lot of lectures. Like, hopefully that gets fixed before. I mean, I don't think it'll get fixed before China, but at least maybe before Japan, because there is. We do have a little bit of a break in between Shanghai and Japan. Maybe they'll figure it out.
Maybe.
In better news, we found out Valtteri Bottas would not be serving his 5-place grid penalty from 2024 due to the change in regulations. So because of all of the changes and everything, I guess he did not have to serve his 5-place grid penalty. So, you know,
I wonder
silver
if that means that if Jenson Button had to get in an F1 car, if he'd still have to serve his unserved penalty, because we've had multiple versions of new regulations since that penalty has been issued. So, like, wouldn't the rule still be this? Like, because the rumor is that Jenson Button still has a penalty to serve, but like, if Valtteri doesn't, doesn't that mean Jenson doesn't? I don't know.
I
that just like popped into my head. So someone please tell me if I sound crazy.
I think because like prior to this regulation change, he would have, because the changes weren't as major, but I think it's because of the amount of changes and how big these changes were. That's why Bottas doesn't have to serve it anymore. not because it wasn't just a few changes, it was like almost a complete overhaul basically.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe now he wouldn't have to, but before it probably was more of a gray area. But I guess now I would assume no, if Bottas didn't have to serve his.
I honestly was kind of looking forward to seeing Valtteri have to serve it just for like
well,
it would have been funny. Yeah.
He would have started in P22 anyway. I mean, they did not start very far up.
Yeah.
Like, let's be realistic.
It's like why add salt to the wound, you know?
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Truly.
I feel like if a driver has a penalty that they have to serve from like a previous season or previous instance, it shouldn't take effect race 1. It should take effect like race 3 or race 5. Like, make them wait a little bit before it actually impacts them. I feel like having them have to serve it in race 1 is just like not as fun.
They would rather serve it earlier than later. Do you know what I mean?
I also say, I think I would just rather just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Sooner.
Yeah. Now, we do need to talk helmets for like a hot second because I still cannot tell for 100% certainty if the lid that Arvid Lindblad posted on his Instagram is going to be his regular season lid or if he did a special one-off for Australia. Either way, he dropped it like right before the race weekend started, and I am absolutely obsessed. There is so much color. It's so fun. It's so funky. I am absolutely going to be hunting down a mini version of that if I can get my hands on it.
I don't know if it's if his full season helmet or not, but I do know that we are going to see some absolutely killer helmets from him this season. I can feel it. I think whether or not that is his permanent helmet is irrelevant. Clearly, the kid has some talent, and I am so excited to see what he comes up with, provided he does special helmets. I feel like he will, but you never know.
You know, I love me a special helmet. I can't wait for them to like start coming out this season because
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's just that little creativity is always nice and it goes a long way. Yeah. So now we are going to follow the trend of F1 with their new regs because we have a new section coming out that I am actually like really excited about. We're going to talk about the fashion that we see in the paddock. Of course, nothing really crazy has happened yet, but Lewis Hamilton Paddock Fashion Week is back. I look forward to his looks every single weekend whenever he enters a paddock each day of said race weekend. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
I also hope we see some good fits from Joe since he is at Cadillac as a reserve driver. He was our prince of the fashion in the paddock when he was driving. I'm so excited. I also hope we never see Charles's red quali pants ever again. I do think Alexander has already gotten rid of those and burned them. Thank God. I also hope we don't see any other really weird jeans from Charles.
The cloud-like jeans that are like tie-dyed or whatever.
The bleached out jeans.
Tie-dyed, yeah.
Yeah. I know which ones you're talking about. He loves those jeans for whatever reason.
Loves those goddamn jeans.
I'm afraid we're going to see them. I'm afraid we're going to see them for sure.
I would rather see those than the red quali pants, though. Because those are
you're right. You're so
absolutely
right.
But I do hope Alexander burned both of those.
Let's hope.
Please.
Please.
Oh my God. We can only pray. I personally, in terms of fashion in the paddock, I really, really, really hope that we get just like more of the drivers dressing up to come into the paddock. I, for one, think all of us and a lot of fans are really over the whole driver entering the paddock in their team kit. You don't need like if you don't need to, you shouldn't. So like,
yeah, or at least like on race day, like dress up at least on race day, or at least on one of the 3 days.
At least, yeah. Like I get it on Thursday on media day, where like you're literally just doing media. Yeah. So yes, you have to rock a team kit. That's fine. Yeah. I don't care about that. But like at least on Sunday, put a little effort, please.
Or Friday,
I beg. Some of them
Saturday,
really
I don't know.
do try, but like they're very inconsistent in it, and I really just hope that like we see more of them putting in a little bit of effort. Something in me feels like Arvid is gonna, once he kind of settles in, may like do some funky stuff. I could see him coming in with some really cool like streetwear.
Ooh, yeah.
But
Liam,
I feel like he just needs to like get comfortable first, which is totally valid. He is a rookie.
And Liam comes in with some pretty good fits from time to time. I will give him that. And Esteban too. Thank you.
They're
Flotty.
just so inconsistent on like when they want to dress up and when they want to just roll out of bed in a team kit.
Here's the thing. I feel like that we see them like when they're all dressed up and stuff is when their girlfriends are there.
That is very true.
Yep. Because their girls are probably like, I'm not walking in on your arm while you're wearing a team kit.
Who would? No one wants to do that.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever see Max out of a team kit. To be fair, I don't think that man will ever. Checo being like, I think he only owns one pair of pants and one pair of shoes with Valtteri, like, that's valid. I would believe it too. He owns Red Bull team kits, one pair of pants and one pair of shoes, and that's it. He did chain his skinny jeans over the break for some straight leg, pretty nice wider leg jeans. I hope he sticks with that, but you know.
I feel like the day that Max Verstappen rolls into the paddock in not a Red Bull team kit or AlphaTauri wear, hell is freezing over.
We need to go play the lottery. It's a day to go play the lottery, friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we do need to move into our actual race weekend coverage. And we're going to keep practice sessions really brief because, let's face it, it's practice, especially on race one. It's just a lot of everybody figuring their ish out.
Maybe.
But we do have to talk more about the Hot Mess Express that is Aston Martin. Because as we mentioned, the drivers were worrying about nerve damage because of battery issues. Well, on top of that, during practice, Lance Stroll literally only did 3 laps during one of the practice sessions after some, quote, suspected power unit related issues. Again, I repeat, it is race 1. What do you mean? Suspected power unit related issues. What? How?
Apparently, a lot of the employees at Honda on the development side for the engine, for Formula One, everything, after Honda left, they all kind of dispersed into other departments. And so now all of the people developing the Formula One engine are actually relatively new to that area of things. And Aston Martin personnel were unaware of this until this past November.
Oh, okay. I want Adrian Newey's inner monologue.
Right.
So that's probably why they're having so many issues, which I will say, everyone's like, Adrian Newey, what are you doing? I don't think that aerodynamically the car is going to have any issues, but
I think it's the engine.
I will say he is responsible for, because he's team principal now, he is responsible for like all of the logistics, but like he's not the one designing the engine.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you not think to like, I think what happened, if I remember correctly, what happened was they heard the rumors that was the case at Honda, and then they were like, what?
What do you mean?
And that's when they went, like, Adrian, Lawrence, all of them went to Japan to check on everything, and that's when they found out that, yeah, a lot of people are new, and they're not super familiar with what's going on. So...
You would think for companies that make how much money in revenue that they would be able to communicate effectively.
Not if
there's an email
on me.
There's an email chain somewhere that was ignored by someone, and that's where that someone had slipped up. Somewhere in that Outlook mailbox is that email.
I don't think I don't think we'd have that many issues if it were run by women.
Yes.
Like, let's be realistic here. I, as someone who's been an assistant and who's, like, been facilitating meetings and all of the fun stuff that comes with being an executive assistant, I don't recommend doing it. like the communication when it comes to having male executives, not really there. Not really there. And I can almost guarantee you that somewhere someone at one point was most likely was like, hey, should we check on this? And they were like, nah, it's probably fine. We're good.
Nah, it's Japan.
I mean, Adrian has worked with Honda before when he was at Red Bull. So I'm assuming he probably, his assumption was most likely that it was the same team. And then he heard rumors that, oh no, it's not. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me?
This was not in my contract?
So, yeah. So, you know, I don't know. I still think that if we had women running things, that there wouldn't have been as much of an issue, because I know personally I over communicate.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, I would have been hounding them until I got some sort of confirmation that you've at least seen the email. Like, you've at least acknowledged my emails to tell you that, hey, this is happening. Whether or not you retain the information is on you.
I am, because I still have to do expenses and stuff. I am like, I am the most annoying person to have doing your expenses, because I will not leave you alone until I have everything that I need. And I will make sure that you are very aware of what I need, why I need it, and when I need it by, because I have deadlines. And I know you have other projects and you have deadlines, but I am the youngest child. I will be so annoying. You will regret ever assigning me to do your expenses. But I'm good at it, and I'm effective, and I get my job done. But I over communicate, and I make sure that everybody knows that's supposed to know I'm doing my job. Clearly, that's not the case at Aston Martin or the Formula One development in Honda. So
they need to hire you.
They do. That was a tangent. I'm sorry. My ADHD medication is still on back order.
Really? What we've said a million times. These teams just need to hire us. Full stop. Just hire us. We've got you.
Exactly. We know a little bit. We can dabble a little bit, you know. Now, besides the Aston Martin Hot Mess Express, which we are going to talk about like a million more times on this episode, don't you worry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, exactly. The only like big thing coming out from practice, besides, you know, Ferrari getting like my hopes up and everything, was we just had a nasty crash during P3 from Kimi. Red flag came up, but luckily he is okay, and they were able to turn the car around for quali just in time. Other than that, check out f1.com if you want more info on practice.
Now, speaking of qualifying, you guys, we got David Coulthard back in the box for commentary for qualifying. My fave. I love when we get David Coulthard commentary. He is so funny. His little clips are just the best. I am so happy.
Y'all know that we love David Coulthard on this podcast. It's just a fact of life at this point. We love DC. Now, I feel really bad for my neighbors when I watch Formula One, because not only am I a girl from outside of Boston, so therefore I am loud. I'm also Italian, so I am extra loud. And I get really hyped when I'm passionate about sports and certain people in said sport. The amount of times during Q1 that I was screaming and or squealing my little head off over how good it seemed that Arvid Lindblad was doing, it was absurd. My neighbors must have absolutely hated me because I was screaming and squealing for Arvid, and then I literally screamed when we saw Max crash. I was so floored. My jaw was quite literally on the ground. I was just so freaked out because it seemed like it came out of nowhere. My first thought was just that, like, I hope that he was okay. It looked like it was a rear axle lockup, and it just seems like there was nothing he could have done. My bigger concern was it looked like his hands were having issues when he got out of the car. Like, he looked like he was just like, uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was a rear lock and then just into the barriers, lost control. But from what it looked like, he did keep his hands on the wheel, and that's probably where the pain came from. He was checked out by medical and cleared, so that was good. First red flag, quali red flag of the season. So we love that. Get your bingo cards out, people.
Oh,
We're already
God.
crossing things off. That's one red flag for qualifying. And the first time Max is out in Q1 in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Hot
yeah.
minute.
It was crazy to watch. Of course, you would think, like, you see the Rebel car, first person you would think of course, is Isaac, but then you see it's Max. And I just felt like it was just very unexpected, which added more to that shock value of the crash itself, too.
Yeah.
When we hit the 6 minutes left in the session mark, I all of a sudden just kind of looked over at the timing sheet and saw that we had no times set by, obviously, Max because he crashed out. But Lance and Carlos had not set a single time with 6 minutes left in the session. And that's just a little concerning, personally.
I went back and I rewatched practice 3, and it looked like during practice 3, Carlos had power unit issues, or he had an issue with his car, and that was why he didn't go out for qualies. They couldn't get it figured out in time. And then of course Lance, well, it was
Aston
we know
can't figure it out.
Aston can't figure yeah. It's not surprising. I was more surprised that Fernando got out than Lance not getting out.
I think the crazier thing to me, in terms of the teammate pairings, was watching Arvid Lindblad, who's 18 years old and a literal rookie, being up in 4th, when his teammate, who has had probably, technically speaking, when you string everything all together, close to 2 seasons in F1. 3?
1.5. 1.5.
2. 1.5 to 2,
Ish.
depending on how you look at things. Was rocking out in 12th.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little alarming when you think about it. Yes, it's only race 1, but still, it's race 1 with new regulations, and your teammate is a rookie, and he's outperforming you. That's just not the best look. During Q1, we also had Kimi Antonelli getting noted for a pit lane infringement that was potentially caused because a mechanic took something off of Kimi's car in the pit lane instead of doing it in the garage, which is technically against FIA rules. So
big no.
Not necessarily that Kimi got the penalty, but his garage team probably got hit with.
His car was noted.
Yeah.
More so, I guess, is what I would say.
Now, come the tail end of the session, things were just really not looking good for Cadillac, and that kind of sucked because it's only race weekend 1, but again, it's also only race weekend 1.
And they're
yeah, I mean, I expected it. They're new on the grid. They're still finding their groove. They're new to Formula 1. To be fair, they did better. They're doing better than Aston Martin.
I mean, I was about to say that it could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse.
Facts.
I have to say, Kimi was such a sweetheart for thanking the mechanics for getting his car ready and getting him out for quali, and he said that they're the best. That was just the sweetest radio message. I love that. He's so precious. He is a child.
In my pocket.
He is the most precious little child.
Mm-hmm.
He's adorable.
He comes across very respectful of everybody that he has to interact with on the team.
Yeah.
And I feel that's really refreshing because I feel for so long we've heard drivers just get frustrated with team personnel, and to have somebody who's just being really appreciative is just nice.
Yeah. Now, our bottom 6 for Q1 were Fernando, Checo, Valtteri, Max, and Carlos with no set time, and then Lance, of course, also with no set time. Shocker. I don't think this is the last time we'll see Lance out in Q1 for the season, but
yeah, I have to agree with you there. Because we literally roll into Q2, and again, it's absolute chaos for the Aston car. I feel they couldn't catch a break last season with their car, and it feels like that momentum is just carrying into this season, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I'm not an Aston fan. I don't care about Lance either. So for me, it's like I let it keep going for as long as possible. But it's honestly, it's comical, like at this point, just like how much of a rough start they've had this season.
There was a moment that the F1 TV crew was talking about Nico's car, and I had to write this quote down because it had me absolutely giggling. And this is a direct quote. "The bodywork on the left-hand side looks like it's making a bid for freedom." There are multiple times while watching Formula One that I constantly wish that, like, I really should try this one time, just like to live stream my reactions, because I feel like people would absolutely get a kick out of it, because I go from cursing at my TV to just like laughing because the commentary is just so comedic for me. It did also look like his side mirrors on his car were rattling around like crazy every time they'd show his onboard. And personally, if that was me, that would drive me absolutely insane.
Was it this session or was it the next one where like both? No, wait. It must have been the last. I don't even remember, but I just know like both caddies.
That was free practice.
Okay, that was free practice.
I think it was
they
free
like
practice
each.
one. They both lost. One lost to the right mirror, and the other one lost to the left.
Lost to the left. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was that. It was either that one or the third one, because I didn't watch the second one, and I just remember like
the two, but yeah,
Amy talking about like the mirrors rattling. I was just like, yeah, didn't like a team lose like each on one side?
Cadillac.
I mean, hey, at least you lost a pair and get to replace them by separating a pair, I guess. I don't know.
I do have to say, in regards to the commentary, Joylyn Palmer saying the word nerfed, that sent me. That, you guys, I was like, I'm sorry, did he just say that? And then I had to run it back, and then I was like, no, he did just say that.
You had to run him back saying the word nerfed. I had to run it back to watch a replay of the wheel cover insert from Pierre Gasly's car make a quote break for freedom. I need to know if they like planned that this was a phrase they wanted to work into the broadcast just for the fun of it, or what, because they were on a roll. Is she attacking
have to have
you?
Like she's trying to get my necklace. Sorry, guys. Let me know if you hear her. She's purring too. Expensive taste, just like her mother.
It's the Ooh Shiny syndrome.
It is. Hi. Yeah.
No, I swear, I'm like, did you purposefully try to work the phrase in make a break for freedom in the broadcast? Because, like, I think they said it, like, at least 3 times.
They have to have, like, a list of, like, phrases they want to, like, say during the broadcast.
Like
and it's
the
just
bet,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, let's see what we can fit in today.
Let's see what we can sneak past.
Yeah.
And, like, get approval on.
I'm so sorry, guys. Jeez.
I feel like during qualifying, we had quite a few delays. We had a delay because of Max in Q1. We had a delay in Q2 because Gabriel Bortoletto's car just, like, stopped in the pit lane.
No big deal. Stopping.
Like, no big deal. Like, totally, like, normal. I mean, Arvid almost
slammed into both
Liam.
of them. Right. And Gabby.
And Gabby. It was just, like, a bit of a clusterfuck. But, like, I mean, it sucked because he had set a fast enough lap that he was going to be able to go into Q3, and because his car stopped in the pit lane and not in a place that, like, the team could just, like, push it into the garage and everything and try to fix stuff, he would not be able to move into Q3. So that means that Q3 starts with 9 drivers, which is just chaos.
You know, changes among changes. And then the bottom 6 from Q2 out, not making it to Q3, we had Nico, Ollie, Esteban, Pierre, Alex, and Franco.
Now, Q3. Poor Kimi. I don't think this kid can catch a break. One of the cooling devices for the radiator in his car got left on his car, and it fell off during the session, which then Lando hit and ran over, causing a full red flag to come out because there was just debris all across the track, and they had to go out and clean it up, obviously. And, of course, Kimi and the team got noted for an unsafe release, and I believe, if I remember correctly, they got fined £7,000 for that. Which, is a drop in the bucket for Mercedes, let's be realistic. But they did get fined. He did get noted, so. Poor Kimi. That kid can't catch a break sometimes. Stop.
I feel like everybody just needed to, shake the dust off for, the first race weekend of the year, because Pierre Gasly also got hit with an unsafe release infringement as well. I can't. I really can't, guys.
No, when we saw that whatever it was in his car, the little cooling thing in there, I was just like, did they left something in there? And I was just like, this is Mercedes. This is something maybe Caddy would do, or maybe Alpine, because Alpine will be Alpine. Maybe even Ferrari, because we know how Ferrari is.
Yeah,
but Mercedes, sweetie, what is going on?
Honestly, for me, it was David Coulthard dropping the Shaggy lyrics from "It Wasn't Me" on live TV. I'm sorry,
he has that list.
I did not have David Coulthard dropping Shaggy "It Wasn't Me" lyrics live on air. I was so unwell, I had to run it back because I thought I was hallucinating for a second.
This is why we love having David Coulthard in the commentary box. Hello? Obviously. We did get the update at this point on Max that he was at the medical center because his hands were hurting. Of course, we find out later. He is all good, thank God. Because I don't think this would have been a really fun way for him to start out the season, because I think when Danny Rick had a similar-ish situation, he had to avoid Oscar and he left his hands on the wheel, we all know he broke his hand. So, as much as I would love to see Yuki back in the car, I don't particularly want it to come at Max's expense like that. I feel like at that point, Max would just be like, you know what?
I'll just retire.
Good.
I'm retiring. I'm gonna go home and spend time with my kids and my cats and my dog, and all my sim. Where I won't break my hand.
If that had happened, I would have seriously started to question if the Red Bull curse is really a curse on the second seat, or if it's really the Daniel Ricciardo curse and he's just fucking with everybody.
Max does have his number.
Literally, I'm like, I don't know. I really and truly don't know. I will say the craziest thing was seeing the notification that Max was in the medical center due to pain, and then seeing Isaac put his car P2. That lap was so iconic. I have no words for it.
And then we got another iconic lap from Kimi Antonelli putting it on provisional pole. Absolutely, that is a child, but he's doing so well. He's still I still have to remember that he's basically a child.
Yes.
He's 9 years younger than me. He's 19. He's just under 10 years younger than he's basically 10 years.
I don't even want to think about how much younger he is than me.
I don't even want to think about the fact that
I'm old.
Arvin is 10 years plus younger than me right now. I'm not. I turned 29 in a month and a half. We're just not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fernando Alonso was in whatever season of Formula One that was for Fernando when Arvid was born.
The man's been in Formula One since the start, so
I love it when they put when they post on the Formula One Instagram, or they put it up on the screen how long said driver has been alive versus how long Fernando's been in Formula One, or like how old said driver was when Fernando Alonso won his first championship or won his first race, or blah blah blah. Like,
yeah,
I feel like Fernando's just catching strays at that point. Like,
I mean,
they're not even strays; they're direct hits.
Deserved. I mean, he's what, 44 years old and still racing full time?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I'm sorry, man, but like the jabs are warranted at this point. Yeah. I will say though, the craziest thing to me was the top 3 battle. Well, yes, it brought me so much joy. I also at the same time kind of hated it because I just don't like seeing George in the top 3 because I know that like it's going to go to his head. I'm sorry to the George fans.
It's unbearable. Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Like, I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me that I'm lying. Like,
you're not.
No,
it's
not
absolutely going to go straight to his head.
No, you're right. You're right. I will say, after we had our top 3, I love that Isaac has been taking notes from Max clearly, because those were the most Max Verstappen-esque answers to Joyland's questions that Isaac probably could have given. He is a straight A student in the Max Verstappen School of PR at this point. Like, does not care.
Yeah, no, I was really happy to see him up there. Like, to me, it's just like he's kind of like breaking the second seat curse or the Danny Rick curse or whatever you will call it.
I call it the Christian Horner curse.
You know what? Yeah, or what's his name?
Yes.
Helmet curse. There you go.
The Horner Marco curse.
There
Horner
you go. I love
curse.
that.
That's
yes.
what it is.
And it's been broken, so you can't tell me anything. But it's just, yeah, I was really happy to see him like up there battling, especially after like the last like few drivers we had with Max, for sure.
At the end of Q3, your top 10 lined up as followed, with George in first, Kimi following in second, Isaac in third, Charles in fourth, Oscar in fifth, Lando in sixth, Lewis in seventh, Liam in eighth, Arvid in ninth, and Gabby rounding us out in 10th.
Now, I don't even think we can't even go straight into the race because Oscar decided to crash. He didn't decide to crash out. That's mean. Oscar crashed out on a recon lap. That was not on my bingo card. I don't think that was on anybody's bingo card. That
certainly
was
not mine.
It looks like it was about this. It was similar to what happened to Max with the rear axle like lock up in at least somewhere, and he just into the wall. Before not even during the formation lap. Like, I don't think any of us actually found out because we were watching, because nobody that I know watches the pre-race stuff until about 10 minutes before.
Yet again, I find myself wishing that I had a camera in my house so that y'all could have seen the way that I immediately saw the notification on my phone that he had crashed, paused my rewatch of One Tree Hill, had a minor freak out, and then like raced over to throw on the F1 coverage and rewound it back as fast as I could to figure out what the hell happened, because I did not have us starting the first race of the season with only 21 of 22 drivers. That was absolutely in no way, shape, or form on my bingo card.
No, the gasp I gasped when I saw your text, Amy, in our group chat. I was just like, oh, your girl was playing Pokopia. It's a fun game if you haven't checked it out on the Switch too. And I was just like, oh. And then I think he's cursed now.
The Australian Grand Prix curse.
Yeah, he DNF'd last year. This year he didn't even start. So like, hello.
Next year he's not gonna qualify.
Right, like next year he's just not gonna even he's gonna have like what happened to Lance and Carlos.
A DNS and DNQ before he
Yeah.
can break the curse, obviously.
Obviously,
I hate it.
exactly.
No.
Trust me, I hate it too, Amy. But literally, like, as
Wrong
soon as
McLaren
like
to
we
have
turn
it,
on
Joe.
like Sky Sports or like Apple TV or whatever, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know what we watch it on anymore. But that's a different discussion. All I know is like suddenly like we get word that Nico is still in the garage, and this is like literally like 1 minute till like lights out. Still in the garage.
The crazier thing was that, like, Mel had that note in, and then I turned on the race, like, maybe not even, like, a minute delayed from, like, starting, air quotes. And I was hearing the F1 TV team say that Nico was going to be starting from the pits, and I was just like, I'm confused. Like,
we were all confused.
I didn't see that coming, but, like, I guess, like, Audi's gonna do what Audi's gonna do. But I do have to say, the start of this race was absurd. Isaac and Charles came from like absolutely nowhere and are just like zooming to the front. It was kind of iconic.
My note here just says in all caps, yes, Charles. I do know that throughout the weekend, everyone was talking about how good Ferrari are off the line and how quick they can get off. So that really wasn't a huge surprise. I mean, it kind of was because it is still Ferrari, but it wasn't as big of a surprise to me as it could have been. But I mean, I expected them to be quick, but I guess I didn't expect them to be that quick. So
yeah,
you know what? I'll take it for now because we know they're going to disappoint us at some point.
Yeah, I exactly. I swear, I think our neighbors probably heard us like screaming in our apartment complex at like 11 p.m. whatever time it was, because I mean this is a Ferrari household. So, and if you ask my fiance, he's like, I'm a Lewis fan before I'm a Ferrari fan. Okay, whatever. But like just seeing the both of them like up here, like at one point, both of them being on the podium for like that hot. All that opening was just so beautiful, and just like seeing, I know we're probably gonna get into this like in a little bit, but like seeing that battle between like George and Charles, like I was just like holding my breath because I couldn't, and we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, it was a good start.
And then like few laps in, I didn't write down the number, what lap number it was, but we had Max got up to 16th, and Kimi went down to 7th within the first few laps, which was surprising for Kimi, not surprising for Max.
Yeah.
To be realistic here.
Again, to like not surprise absolutely anybody, but Franco Colapinto was noted for a starting procedure infringement, and yes, again, somebody make a tally of the amount of times I say the phrase, it's only race one, but I'm sorry, I feel like it just needs to be said. Because, like, what do you mean starting procedure infringement on race one? Alpine should know better. We also had the return of a very sassy and very complaining George William Russell with and I direct quote, that was very dangerous by Leclerc, especially about what we spoke about in the briefing meaning the driver's briefing, which is things that are supposed to like stay in the driver's briefing, not like be brought out to the public.
Yeah. Now that you say that part, like, I mean, besides it's gonna be like a long season with him complaining. I don't know how to feel about him voicing that, like you said, out in the public, especially like if it's one of those like whatever happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club type, things.
Kinda.
I don't know. Just like, I don't know how to feel about this man. It's like I really want to like him, but it's just like he says things like this and then he behaves like this, and it's just like,
Listen, bring back the televised drivers' briefings.
We need them.
We need them.
Yes.
Back. I want those back. I also will say, Charles is used to defending against like Max. Come on. Let's think about this here. I did see someone on Threads say that Charles is just Max with better PR and more desperation, and that is accurate. That is That is accurate. Like, I don't think George really understands how much of a menace Charles is, because Charles, and we've talked about this before, Charles is like, I will take us both out of this race before I let you past me.
Exactly.
And Max knows this. I think George is about to know that very quickly. I also will say, when Colapinto's infringement came up when he was noted for a stop and go penalty, it was not a stop and go penalty on the little banner at the top. It said Colapinto and go penalty. That was so funny. That was incredible. No notes.
I can't. There is like imagery of it on the internet. I've seen a few screenshots that people took of their screens of the Colapinto and go. I feel like they should just run with it. Like, you made the mistake on race 1, just run with it, please, I beg. The crazier thing to me was, like, lap 11 hits, and I look over at the timing sheet, and I randomly clock that Nico is listed as out. And I was so confused because I was questioning if he even made it out, like, past the start. Like, I was just so perplexed because they did not show us or even mention him retiring in any way.
Yeah, I don't think he did, but I'm gonna be really, really honest. I kind of forgot about him until I saw the same thing about him not racing. So there's that.
He did make it out onto the grid, but there was a technical issue with his car, big shock, and he did have to be wheeled off the grid back into his garage, and he did not start the race. So, unfortunate. So we had 2 DNSs. But also by lap 11, Max was already up to 9th, so I think we should just cue the Jaws theme at that point.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Can we just, like, let them play music out of the cars? And the future,
have like their own like little soundtrack.
Yes, I want them to be able to like make song requests to their race engineers or something.
Yeah,
like,
as long as by the time they reach the last lap, once they hit the last lap, it's the last lap in Mario Kart theme where it's just like really, really fast. Yeah. Just that. That has to be for all plays for all of them for the last lap until they finish the race. I think that would be really funny.
I would love that.
I think it'd be really funny to also see who is gonna like pick what songs and like which drivers are gonna try to troll other drivers with their song choices. I don't know.
Ollie Behrman just with Taylor Swift blasting. He has apparently 5 Taylor Swift songs on the warm-up playlist on Apple Music. Just Ollie blasting Taylor Swift passing people. I would die.
I love him. We love Ollie.
We love Ollie Behrman.
Now, again, I feel so bad for my poor neighbors because I absolutely screamed when Isaac Hajar had what appeared to be engine failure because all I saw was smoke pouring out of the back of his car.
Yeah. I think I texted the group chat. I just like sent like crying emojis. Because again, although I am a Ferrari fan, I like Isaac, the driver, not the team. I like the driver. He was just having like such a good weekend too, and I was just like, yes. But the curse lives on a little bit.
It honestly, it was the replay because good lord, the silence was so loud because you could hear the engine just like cut.
Yeah.
I love when they give us that replay because it's just so like mind-boggling to me how apparent like when your engine goes.
Yeah.
In an F1 car. Like you can just like it's like all of a sudden the noise is just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think the location in which he stopped, he did pull out a virtual safety car, I think.
Yeah,
and we had a double stack from Mercedes while both Ferraris stayed out, which resulted in, of course, shocker for absolutely nobody, a very critical and slightly sassy Lewis Hamilton.
As I
personally hate double stacks. They stress me out for no reason.
No, same. But you know what? Ferrari messing up the strategy. Guys, we are so back.
Honestly, it's nothing new, but it's just like they had so many chances to fucking pit the drivers.
And they didn't.
And exactly.
They didn't.
And that's the most annoying part. Like, I get it, maybe not the first time, but if the fucking VSC or the actual safety car comes out, well, why not do it then? Like, what?
Like I said, guys, we're so back for switching up the strategy.
We had a moment where it looked like Fernando Alonso was retiring to the pits, which, again, is not surprising, but just was, like, kind of odd because I didn't see radio messages from the team.
No, I mean, I feel like we saw that coming. They said that it wasn't going to make it, like, 25 laps. I think it was, like, lap 15, 16 that he was seen going back into the pits.
He tried his best.
Yes.
And then,
that's what matters.
Speaking of things being so back, we got Checo and Liam wheel to wheel.
Oh God!
Guys,
no big deal.
Oh,
what
God.
year are we in, you guys?
Year of our Lord 2026. We've got Checo and Liam beef. So exciting. And then we had Bottas stopped on the side. I don't remember what turn he was at, but he just stopped.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I cannot tell you what turn it was, but I can tell you it was lap 18. My heart hurt because we love VB on this podcast.
Yeah.
The weirder thing, and again, I feel like they didn't really show a good replay of the Checo Liam beef because all of a sudden I see a notification that is saying that Checo was noted for forcing another driver off the track during said battle with Liam.
Yeah.
Confusion.
They did not show a super great replay. They didn't really show a great replay because then they had to switch immediately to VB being off the track and having issues with his car.
Mm-hmm.
Because they also didn't show really, but we got Gasly on Ocon crime in the year of our Lord 2026. Again. So, more
Frenchmen are fighting.
More beef that's never gonna end. We love it. I don't know. And then things just kept
there's
coming.
more.
There's more, guys.
Wait, there's more.
Alonso was back out on track, down like 10 laps, but he was back.
Literally. My notes literally say, wait, what the hell? Because we were all really confused. I personally did not know it was even possible for that to happen because Aston had tweeted that, like, they made adjustments to his car and he was able to rejoin the race. I was just, like, in a constant state of confusion with the Aston team.
I'm confused. You're confused. They're probably confused themselves because I thought that wasn't allowed. So, like, I don't know.
Then there was no further action on the Checo and Liam incident.
Probably won't be the last we see of that.
It will not. It will not. We know this. I also gotta say, shout out to Ollie's dad. I love seeing that man stressed out. It is so relatable. He's just like us. Kimmy being asked about his tires, if he thinks that they could go to the end, and his response just being, "That's gonna be brave."
That made me giggle.
You know what? He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's
and
funny.
Then he's so funny. And no further action on the Gasly on Ocon crime. So
we did have yet again a virtual safety car come out because there was debris on the track from Checo's car. I feel like we had so many VSCs this race.
Ferrari had all those chances
and didn't take it.
Listen, they had chances, and then they closed the pit lane entry, so they no longer had chances. I have no notes. I have no notes because there's what else can we do at this point, except for fire the entire Ferrari strategy team and replace them. It's an option. It's an option.
Hire us.
But what really sent me was the replay of the marshals grabbing whatever it was that fell off of Checo's car and running, back. Was David Coulthard saying, they'll want that back, probably don't have any spares, about Cadillac.
I don't know what Cadillac did to deserve catching strays from David Coulthard, but I really want to know.
David Coulthard is just so prepared for this season. I'm so excited.
He has
a list.
Equal opportunity shot to take.
He is. Him and Nico Rosberg.
Yes.
Always.
No one is safe.
Never.
Now, we did have Fernando Alonso retiring the car for real at lap 37, I think, to, quote, conserve components. And then all of a sudden it was showing that Lance was listed as in the pits for an extended period of time that was more so than just a standard pit stop.
Well, and it said that he was officially out. He was marked on the timetable as out, which, again, not surprising. We just had Nando officially out. And they weren't expected to even finish the race. They weren't expected to go past 20. They weren't expected to go past 25 laps, and Lance went 37. So that wasn't surprising.
Yeah. But I mean, for how they were doing this weekend, it is kind of pretty impressive. If you ask me, the bar was way low. The bar was in the negatives,
not even on the floor. It was below the floor.
Yeah.
I will agree. It is kind of impressive when you think about it. But again, I was back to being just confused because Lance was back on the track. Again, I understand that they made some changes to his car and we're trying to get data out of stuff. But I'm also, again, I'm still confused as to how he was allowed to technically, quote, retire the car according to the timing sheets and then still go back out on track. The math isn't mathing. And I'm not just saying that as a girl with a communications degree.
I mean, if I recall correctly, they aren't officially retired until the driver gets out of the car. So as long as I guess they never got out of the car while they were making adjustments, they're technically good and can still go back out on track. I could be wrong, considering we now have new regulations and blah 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 blah. So that could have changed, but to my recollection, they aren't technically officially retired until the driver gets out of the car. Once the driver exits the car, that's it. They can't get back in, they can't go back out. To my knowledge.
Now, we're kind of tail end of the race, and the only thought I had in my head while writing my notes was that George Russell is going to be absolutely unbearable after this. I'm sorry to the George Russell fans. Again, I'm really, really sorry. Please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I really and truly fear that he is about to be absolutely unbearable after this win.
Yeah, I have to agree a little bit there. Especially based on whatever that voice was that he did on his radio message. Apparently it might be an inside joke at Mercedes. I don't get it. I was okay, that was annoying.
Yeah, I cringed. I cringed really badly. I was just well, please,
yes,
that literally.
Agreed.
I don't. Yeah. You guys
don't
get
know
it.
what that was.
Get it.
Just nope, not gonna
feel that in my soul.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I feel every F1 fan should have screamed their heads off alongside me because the fact that Arvid Lindblad got points on his debut at 18 years old is just iconic. I flipped 10 out of 10 kid. I have not a single note to give you.
No, that was an absolutely killer performance from Arvid. I also gotta say, I love seeing Charles do post-race interviews when Ferrari does well. You can just kind of see the depression leaving him. It'll be back, don't worry. It'll be back. But he's just so full of hope for right now. It's so nice.
It really is, because I love being a Delulu Tifosi at the start of the season and have all this hope, all this Forza Ferrari fully loaded and ready. Again, I just wish they freaking stopped and pitted during the freaking VSC. Because we could have, honestly, we probably could have, like, had a win. That's being very hopeful, but we could at least have Lewis on the podium, too.
Yeah.
That is
we
all
could have at least had a Ferrari double podium, probably.
Exactly. At least.
Yeah.
Can we please talk for like a hot second about the fact that at some point during this race, Charles Leclerc went on his radio to Brian and said that the new overtake mode is like having a mushroom in Mario Kart. He's such a nerd, and I love it.
Please tell me that they added that to the words of wisdom. I really hope they did. I gotta give it to the Moe people. They are fast with that decal application. And it always looks so good. It's like perfect. I gotta give it to them. They're very good at that.
I truly feel they might be faster than an F1 pit stop. It is definitely an art.
Or an Aston Martin.
At the end of the race, your podium finishers were George in P1, Kimi in P2, and Charles in P3.
And then we have Max as driver of the day this weekend. Stellar job, going from 20th to 6th place.
And in no surprise, the fastest lap was also Max.
Now, I don't know if this is a new graphic or not, but it's definitely the first time I have noticed it, and that is the top speed graphic, which is the top speed for the race. And that for this race was set by Franco Colapinto with a speed of 344 kmp or 213 miles per hour. I personally, as a car person, love that they're giving us this data. It just makes me nerd out.
No, I actually really like that you got this. I've never seen that before, but it's pretty cool to like see like what the top speed in general of like all the 22 drivers were. Not necessarily like the fastest lap. It's just like the fastest like at one. It's just really cool. And to think that they're going at that high of a speed is pretty scary. But yes. Of course, we have to give you the rundown of the DNFs because boy, did we have a few. And this is in the order per the classification. So of course we had Lance, Fernando, Valtteri Bottas, Isaac, Oscar, and Nico. So, again, it won't be the last time we see a few of these, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a long season ahead. We have 23 more races, my friends. Now, before we go into our PGP predictions, we do want to talk about our predictions from last week. Oh my god, babe. I didn't even see you behind me. I saw you guys laughing.
Ignoring his ass.
No, he always does this to me. He always does this to me. Like, I'll be focused in the zone. He just like creeps up and like, if you couldn't tell by his reaction. Anyways, we do have to talk about our predictions that we made on our preview to 2026 season. So I'm going to go first. So I predicted George in P1, Charles P2, and Lewis in P3. So I did get P1 correct. Okay. Charles in P3 and Lewis in P4 was pretty close predictions, just off by like one spot for each driver. I'm not going to be too upset about this prediction to start the season. Don't trust me for any bets, friends.
Now, my predictions last episode was Oscar in P1, Isaac in P2, and Charles in P3. Apparently, I was way off and wrong, but I can confirm that I was at least smart enough and made sure that my predictions would not curse the boys. So please, please, please do not blame me for Oscar and Isaac. But if I have to look on the bright side, at least I got Charles correct. Like, 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Predicted P1 to be Oscar, P2 to be Charles, and P3 to be Max. That did not age very well. I cannot guarantee that I did not curse Oscar, although I think that's just a curse he's had. I will say at least Charles was on the podium. I was off by like one spot. And you know what? When it comes to Ferrari, we've said it before, we'll say it now, and I'm going to say it probably a million more times this season. A win is a win. A win is a win. A win's a win. I'll take it.
Exactly. I have to agree with you here. Now, we are off to Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. And yes, friends, it is the first sprint weekend of the year. But you're here for our predictions for the race. So for me, I'm going to say P1 Kimi, P2 Lewis, and P3 Charles. I just have a feeling it's going to be a lot between Mercedes and Ferrari this season. Please don't let me down, Ferrari.
Unfortunately. Listen, after this week, I'm going to say we'll have another Merc 1-2. Either order, I personally would prefer it for it to be Kimi on the top step. I really do think that this is the season he'll get his first race win in Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
And then in third, I would love to see Charles again. Max is also acceptable. Lewis is also acceptable to be up there. I will take any of the three. For the sprint, truthfully, don't care what the podium looks like. I just want some chaos.
Exactly.
I will absolutely second that. Please, for the sprint, give us some chaos. I do not care who finishes on the podium. For the race itself, I, per usual, use my pendulum for my predictions. I don't know if I truly trust these predictions, but I am just going to roll with them. P1, I have Lewis Hamilton. P2 is Kimi Antonelli, and P3 is Charles Leclerc.
Some bold predictions, not gonna lie. Listen, do we really trust Ferrari to have it together for every single race? No. Of
We
course
hope so.
not. But now, before we say goodbye for today, I gotta say, the moment of the weekend has to be, for me, I think for all of us here at PGP, Arvid getting points on his debut. Absolutely killer. So excited to see what this kid has for the rest of the season. We love to see it. We love our rookies doing well, even though he's our only rookie this year. Although we do still have Fernando Alonso as our rookie, so there's two rookies on the grid.
All right, besties, that is a wrap on our first race weekend of 2026 and the kickoff of season 4 of the Paddock Girls podcast. What a way to kick off the season in the paddocks with y'all. Now, as always, we really want to hear from you, so please do not forget to drop your predictions in our comments or our DMs. Either is acceptable. You can find us on socials at Paddock Girls Podcast. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. Now, please, I'm begging you here, make sure that you are following the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode this season. And if you're really enjoying the show, leave us a rating, a review if you can, and share it with a fellow F1 fan in your life, as it really does help us grow our little corner of the paddock. Next up, we are heading to Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix, and if race 1 is any indication, we are in for a wild 2026 season. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, and as always, we will see you on the next lap, besties. Bye!
Bye.